Hello, my name is Julie and this is KS Mom Crochets. Today is going to be Crochet Podcast number 18. I have 3 finished objects, possibly 4, you could count one as 4, and I have a lot of whips. I think that I need to go into Whips Anonymous because I have started, which I did finish some of them, but I have started so many projects like within the past week or two. I guess I just had startitis. I just kept seeing patterns that I wanted to make, and then there's things that I want to make that I said I was going to start last week's podcast that I did not get around to starting because I just had so much stuff. Just like I kind of feel a little overwhelmed because I have so much stuff going on. So, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers, and if you are not subscribed and you'd like to be, just hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. I have noticed that a lot of my videos from people that I watch are getting lost. Like, there's just so many people that I'm subscribed to, and it's impossible to like keep up with all the videos. Sometimes I feel like I'm really behind on videos. So the bell definitely helps if there's somebody that you would like to get notified of their videos. So don't forget about that. So let's just jump right in. Like I said, I have 3, possibly 4 finished objects, and I'm just going to start with this one. And I did finish my Tooterphants. I love how the yellow is right where my eyes needed to go. It just looks like it just has a little ring of sunshine around its face. And I just love how this turned out. It's going to be really hard to give this to you, Amanda, if you're watching this, because this was for my sister. But I do have enough to make more if I wanted to, and you never know. I said in my last podcast that I was going to end up with a little herd of Tooterphants, and you all will probably get tired of seeing them because I just love this pattern so much, and it just works up so perfect in the striped or variegated yarn. Now this pattern came out of this book, which is the Quick and Easy Crochet book, but it is available on Etsy, as I have said before, and I will have it linked below. It is by Lucy Collin, and you do get the pattern for the big and little Tooterphants, and this is my little Tooterphants. I used a 2.75 millimeter hook, and I used Premier wool-free sock yarn. Premier wool-free sock yarn in the color Vegas Lights. And this is how much I had left out of one skein. So I think that it turned out so cute, and I just love how these colors work up. I love, like I've said before, I love the Premier fruit yarn, and this yarn is identical to the fruit yarn. It just is different colorways, and I absolutely love it. I did notice that Mary Maxim had sold out, because that is where I got this yarn at, had sold out of a lot of the colors, so I'm really happy that I got some when I did. So that is finished object number 1. Now finished object number 2 comes out of this book, and is Edward's Menagerie, and this book is by Kerry. It is in UK terms, so their double crochet is our single crochet. And in case I haven't ever mentioned, this book is one of those books where you do get your basic body and arm patterns in the beginning of the book, and then all of the animals throughout are different levels. You have like your level 1, your level 2, level 3, and obviously level 1 is like your very basic beginner pattern. This pattern that I did is called Germain the Gorilla. And it is a level 2 pattern, but to me it was more of a level 1. I'm thinking that the only reason that it is a level 2 is because you do have to sew on the face part, and you do have the chain loops on the head for the like tufts of hair. And I was thinking, why does this thing not have a tail? But gorillas do not have a tail, and this is supposed to be a gorilla, not a monkey, so that is why it did not have a tail. I absolutely love this book. It's one of my favorite books that I have, and I go back to it all the time. There's always something that I want to make, and animals that I have made multiple times. So now I made the gorilla, and he's pretty cute. His face, I could have did a little better on the face, but I still like him a whole lot. I did do the chain loops, which is really, really easy. You just put your hook in the spot that you want to go, you chain up, and then you slip stitch back into that same spot until you get the number of chain loops that you're supposed to have. And this one had 3 for his little tuft of hair. I've done a line pattern out of here, and you do the mane like that, and it's tedious because there's a lot, but it's really, really simple. So yeah, like I said, I really love these patterns. And for this pattern, I used the 2.75 hook, and I used the Hobie Rainbow 84, and I used the color number 6, and I do not know the color names. I thought that I had looked it up before I started this video, but I didn't. So I don't know the color names, but this color is number, wait, let me look. Yes, this color is number 6, and this color is number 15. But I really, really love this yarn, and as I mentioned in my last video, it is a little bit thinner. I said that it's like this fruit yarn and the wool-free sock yarn is a number 1 too, but the stitches, I guess it's the PBT in it, it's kind of like a stretchy type yarn or something where it's for socks, and so it really makes your stitches really dense, whereas with this it doesn't have that. So there are spots that you can see that I should have went down a hook size, especially like right here in the belly area where you have decreases to make the fat little tummy, but it doesn't bother me. Now some people, it may bother you, so if you don't like a thinner yarn, they do make this in different weights, and I do want to try the 8/6 in the future, and I'm hoping that I will get to do that soon, even though I'm supposed to be on a yarn ban, but I do want to try the 8/6 from Hobie whenever I can save up the money to order from them again. But I really like him. I think he turned out really cute. Like I said, I could have done a little better on stitching on the eye mask there, but I normally do not pin anything down. I kind of just eyeball it when I'm sewing my amigurumi together. There are certain patterns that I will pin down, like on the Tooterphants. I did pin the legs down just because there's 4 of them and you want them to kind of be even. But normally I don't do that. It's time consuming, and I just want to get it done. By the time I get to the sewing part, I just want to get it done. So I just hold it on there and hope for the best. But yeah, he turned out really cute, and I like him a lot. Now my next finished object could be counted as 2. I did show this on my Whip Wednesday video that I posted last Wednesday, and this is the blanket that I showed, and I was having a dilemma about the colors. I wasn't sure if I was liking how the colors were coming out. with this yarn, and this is the ice cream yarn from Line Brand. It is the colorway Banana Split, and so I wasn't sure if I was liking how these colors were pulling, because the orange was all going to one side and all the other colors were going to the other side, and I think what was throwing me off with this yarn, and I know I'm not saying I love this yarn, it's really, really nice, I like it, and I will probably buy more colors in it in the future. I'm not crazy about the orange and the purple together. Like, I kind of wish that they had put like the purple with the blue and the orange with like the yellow, but it's like the after the orange stops, the purple starts, and then it goes back to the orange. I'm just not crazy about orange and purple together. So I think that's why I was having such a dilemma with this. And I did tell you all, a lot of you all suggested that I just keep going and make it a baby blanket. And I did tell a lot of you all that I was thinking, or I was going to do that, and I changed my mind. So I mentioned in my Whip Wednesday video that I was thinking about making this a baby doll blanket instead, and so that is what I did. I had so many whips going on, and I wanted to finish something, and this is the first thing that I got finished this week. So I just went ahead and did a couple more rows around it and just called it done. I do have 3 skeins of this left, and so I do have enough to make a blanket, a pretty good sized baby blanket. Lori K suggested that I put a solid yarn with it, and I really, really like that idea. But I don't have enough of a solid color that would match this in DK. So, I mean, that requires a yarn purchase. So, I think I'm just going to put this yarn back up where I had it and pull it out another day in the future. But like I said, this is a baby doll blanket. This pattern is Sunburst Baby Blanket by Jayda Institches. I did use a 5mm hook on this. And so, like I said, I did turn this into a baby doll blanket. And since I did that, I needed a baby doll. I needed a baby doll to go with my baby doll blanket. So I chose a pattern that I have been wanting to do for a really long time, and it is the Swaddle Babies by Valerie's Cuddly Cat Crochet and Sewing. Now, like I said, this is the ice cream yarn in the banana split colorway, and it is a 3 weight, and so I used a 3.25mm hook for the baby doll. And for the skin tone, I used Premier Basics DK in the color Sand. I had unboxed this a while back, and this was the closest thing that I had in a 3 weight for a skin tone, for a lighter skin tone. So this is what I went with, and it turned out okay. I mean, it's not like the perfect color for a skin tone, but it worked. So I absolutely love this pattern. I love it so much, and I want to do it again because I just think it's adorable, and it's such a fast make. Your head and your body are all the one piece. Your head and your body are all one piece, and then she actually has you make the arms first so that you can crochet your arms in, which is awesome. So it's like the head, the arms, and the body are all one piece. There's no sewing involved with that because you do crochet these little arms on. You do make your hat separate, and she does have you not go all the way around with the ruffle so that it sits nicely on the neck, and I liked that. And then you can sew the hat down, and that is what I chose to do. And I gave it a little smile. Its smile is a little bit too light. I probably should have used a little bit of a darker pink, but I just used a 2 weight yarn that I had and gave it a little smile. but I think it is so cute, and I will definitely make this pattern again in the future because I just love it. And it didn't take any time at all to make it. Like, I made it all in one day. So, yeah, I think next time that I make it, I will use a different yarn. But, yeah, I really like it. I did color control on the hat because the orange and the purple were coming out, and I did not want that on the hat. So, I did color control just a little bit. And on this blanket, I did have someone suggest, and I'm so sorry I can't remember the name, but you know who you are. But I did have someone suggest color controlling this yarn, but the stripes are so short that you would have a million ends to weave in if you color controlled it. So, but there is my baby doll and the baby blanket, and you can wrap your little baby up in its blanket. And I made it a little bit bigger that way because this is going to be for my niece. That way, if she had a different baby doll that she wanted to wrap up, it would be big enough to cover it too. So that is finished object number 3, and I guess I'll say number 4. And that's all my finished objects. And like I said, I had like startitis. Like, I don't even know how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 8 projects going on this week. 8. Why? I don't know. It's like I just kept getting distracted and I just kept starting stuff, and I did not get to work on all these projects this week. Like I said, I did finish 4 of them, but we will just hop right on into WIP so I can show you what I did get to work on. So let's see, what did I work on this week? I started, oh sorry, I dropped it. I started a new project. Yes, I did. I started a new project. I started the Albert pattern by Herr Wool. And if you all watch Caroline over at For the Love of Crochet, she does this pattern a lot. And in 2 videos ago, I think, not this, she just released a video, so it was a video before that. She had mentioned that she was curious if anybody had done this pattern or if they would like to do this pattern to, she didn't understand exactly where her starting stitch was when you connect the legs, and this is what I have done so far on the Albert pattern. So I thought, I had bought this pattern, I had already had it printed off, I've been wanting to make it for a long time, ever since she first showed it, and I thought I'm just going to try it and see what I think. And in this, let's see, let's just tell you what the yarn I'm using. So I am using Parrot Stripe out of Red Heart Super Saver Stripes. Just love that colorway. It's not the softest yarn, but it's perfect for amigurumi because stiff yarn is great for amigurumi. But those colors, their stripe yarn is just absolutely beautiful. And this was a leftover skein. I had actually made a blanket before I started podcasts using this yarn, and that was what I had left over. And I'm using a 4mm hook on this just to keep my stuffing from showing. And so I'm working up the body right now. I'm not sure exactly what row I'm on in the pattern, but let's see. So what you do is you make one foot and then you make the other foot and then you just connect them together. But on that round where when you are connecting the legs together, I think there is an error in the pattern because you're supposed to have 66 stitches, and no matter how I did it or counted or recounted, I did not have 66 stitches, so I did have to add 1 increase in order to get that 66 stitches. And in order to connect the legs, you chain 8 and then you connect to the second leg. And he has pictures because it is a man that wrote this pattern, but he does have pictures showing how you connect the legs. It's in black and white. I don't know if you can see that really well, but on his picture, I'm assuming this second picture is the picture of after you've connected the legs. And so on his picture, it shows that he has single crochets on both sides of the chain. And in the pattern, when it's talking about how many stitches you have, you're supposed to, like I said, have 66. You're supposed to have 25 on this leg, 25 stitches on this leg, and then it says plus 8 on each side of the chain. But in the row, it does not tell you to crochet back across the back side of the chain. So I just went ahead and did that, and doing that, I feel like that it is working out the way that it's supposed to, because the way that he wrote this pattern, it's not like a normal amigurumi pattern. It's written a lot differently. There's a lot more counting, and Cassandra over at Craftably Ever After, she actually did this pattern too, and she did an excellent job explaining. So I'm going to kind of steal from her a little bit because she did do an excellent, and I will link that video down below where she made this Albert pattern. But like she was saying, is most patterns has you do, like, you'll start with 6 and then you'll increase to 12 and then you'll go 1 single crochet, increase, and then the next row will be 2 single crochet, increase, and then it'll just keep going like that, and it's like really simple to follow. But on this one, like on one row, it says do 16 single crochet, increase, do 32 single crochet, increase, and then do 16 more single crochet. And I understand why that he did that, because he wants your increases to end up on the sides, like so that your sides will come out. And in doing that, it does make your sides come out. If you can see how it's curving up a little bit right there. And every time that I follow another row that has an increase, it's like my increases end up like right here and right here, or something like that. And then he also has you, like, I'm almost done with one of the rounds, and it is the round before you readjust your stitches. So like you'll have, let's say you have 66 stitches, and he'll be like, well, on the next round stop at 64 stitches and make that the start of your new round, because he's trying to get it to line up into the middle. So in doing that, it does work out the way that I did it. So I'm liking this pattern. It is, like I said, a little bit more time consuming, because you can't be like, okay, I just need to increase up to 6 stitches around, or like 6 and then increase around. That's how I do it anyway. I'll be like, okay, so they want me to go up to 6, so that's what I do. But on this one, you have to really pay attention to every single row, or else it's not going to turn out like his, and you want it to turn out like the pattern shows, you know. So like I said, I'm enjoying working on it. It is a lot of counting, and you really have to pay attention. So I am using my highlighter tape that I use to mark my rows, because otherwise I think I would get lost and I would forget what row I was on. So yeah. And this is what, let's see if I can hold it up. This is what Albert will look like when he's all done. So, yeah, it's a good pattern though. But I think something got lost in translation, because the original patterns are written, I think, in German or something. So I think on that one, that's the only row so far that I have seen that has anything that really got confusing. It was just the joining the legs. So that is works in progress number 1, and that was a really long explanation for that. Okay, so the next thing that I worked on is another new project, because I really needed a new project, didn't I? No. So I wanted to start another blanket. I don't know why, but I just wanted to start a new project. I'm on a kick about using random one skein yarns and just throwing them together and seeing how they turn out. I did that with my last blanket and it worked out perfect, so I'm hoping that this one will be really pretty too. I have been crocheting for about 7 or 8 years now, and when I first started, up until, I don't know, probably like 3 years ago, I really did not understand the concept of how much yarn you needed to make stuff and all that, and I would just buy like one skein of yarn here and there, and then I just have all these random skeins of yarn that I don't have anything to do with them. Which at the time I was making a lot of amigurumi. I did not do blankets, so that's probably another reason that I did do that. But now that I am more into making blankets and stuff for the past like 2 years or so, yeah, about 2 years I've been making blankets for about 2 years. So you need more yarn for blankets, so I am just trying to use up some random yarn that I have. And I had this skein of, let me pull this up here, I had this skein of Karen Jumbo, and this color is Peacock Variegated. It's really, really pretty. It's got blues and greens and purples and just really pretty colors. And I only had one, and this is 595 yards in this. I did use this on a blanket. I had another one and I used it on a blanket, I think, before. But I am wanting to just use this yarn up. So I thought, what can I do? What can I add with this? And I thought, well, maybe because I have a bunch of, if I move this, you can see I have a bunch of like 4-weight yarn back here, just random colors. Some of them I have multiple skeins of, some of them I just have one. So I thought, surely out of all this yarn, I have some colors that will go well with this yarn. So I found this in my stash, and it is Joann's Big Twist Value. It has 380 yards, and it is the color Sapphire. And there is a blue that is kind of similar. It's a little bit darker, if you can see that. And this is all 4-weight yarn that is kind of similar to that blue, and I thought, okay, it'll pull that blue out of this variegated, and it should look well with this color. And I thought, okay, well, that's not going to be enough to make a blanket, so I need at least one more color. I think I have another one of these somewhere. I'll have to look. So if I did run out of the blue, I might have another one. And I don't know if this is going to be enough to do the blanket that I'm wanting to do. But I had this ball of yarn. It has no label. It is the only ball of yarn that I have that does not have a label. Because I am really good. I do have to say that I'm really good about not getting rid of my labels. Not losing my labels. Even on my partial skeins, a lot of people ball them up or like roll them up or cake them up. I don't do that. I just have like floppy skeins. I just have floppy skeins in a tote of my scrap yarn, and I will be making a scrap project very soon. If my husband hadn't been in the bed last night, I probably would have started a scrap project last night, but instead I chose this. But what I do is when the ball gets floppy, I pinch my label up until it's like tight around what yarn is left, and I fold it over and I tape it. And that works really well for me. because I feel like it takes too much time out of my crochet time to ball up or cake up my yarn. So I don't do it very often. I do it sometimes. But I did have this random ball of purple with no label, and I'm thinking that it is Bernat Super Saver or Super Value. I think that's what this is. I'm not sure though, but it doesn't really feel like Red Heart. It's not the softest yarn in the world, but it's not as stiff as Red Heart. Like this Joann's is softer than this, but I'm thinking that it's Bernat. But anyway, I thought that it matched the purple that's in that variegated pretty well. So these are my 3 colors, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, but these are the colors that I have chose. So what am I doing with this yarn? So I was looking last night on YouTube and on Google and Ravelry, and I found, well, I mean, I've watched plenty of her videos, but it's Creative Grandma, and she does the Stitch of the Week. I'm not sure if she still does that. I think she does. But this is the Stitch of the Week number 209, and it is called the Block by Block Stitch. And I'm using a 6mm hook on this too. And so this is what I'm doing, because I just wanted something simple, and it is, like I said, the block by block stitch. I did add 6, I think I added 6 extra chains just so I could have that border, that extra border that I like to do, because this pattern did not end. I don't think it ended with a double crochet, or maybe it did, I don't remember, but I ended up adding 6, I know that. So this is what I have so far, and so it's really simple. It's a 2-row repeat. You single crochet and chain, and then single crochet, and then you do 4 doubles into that chain opening. And it's just a really pretty pattern, but it's really simple, and it's pretty good sized. I mean, it's not quite my arm span. I think I wrote down how many chains that I chained. The multiple is 4 plus 2, and I chained 136 plus 2, and that worked out perfect for me, adding those 3 double crochets on each end. So this is what I'm going to do, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to use like half of this and see how many rows that I get out of half of this skein, and then do the same amount of rows out of this skein, and then the same amount of rows out of this skein, and just see how big it gets until the yarn is gone. Or I may look in my stash and see if I can find one more color to put with this, but because I don't know, I don't think that'll be enough yarn. But that's my thought process. But I just wanted to start something new, because I didn't have enough new projects to work on. So this is what I'm doing. Like I said, it's by Creative Grandma, and I will link it down below. She has a free PDF download of that stitch pattern, of all her stitch patterns actually, and she also has a YouTube tutorial on it. So that is all that I have worked on. Now, like I said, I have a lot of projects going on right now. Actually, I did work on my Ruana by Charm Grammy Crochet, but I did not get enough of it done to really, enough on it done to really show you. It pretty much looks the same. I think I only got like 3, maybe 4 color repeats on it, so I'm not going to show it this time. I did finish that large amigurumi mushroom by Michelle Estrada in my Whip Wednesday, so if you missed that, you can go check that out. And I have not worked on Daisy the Pig, and I only like her arms and her skirt, so I'm going to try to finish that up, and I'm going to try to finish Albert, and I think that's all. yeah, I think that's all. So I did mention a couple projects in my last video, didn't get to start those. I do have plans to start those, but I think I overwhelmed myself a little bit with starting so many projects, and I don't know why I did that. Normally I feel like that I can have a blanket going on and I can have an amigurumi going on, but if I set that amigurumi down, it's going to take me a little bit to get back to it. That's usually how it happens. And then when I do get back to it, then I set the other one down that I started, and then, you know what I mean? So it's like I end up with a body or some legs and missing parts, and yeah. So I'm going to try to get that stuff done. And I did not do any sewing on Caitlin's liner. I just did not have the brain power to try to figure that out this week. I'm hoping that I'll get it done at least before the month is out. I really want to do that, and I really wanted to start something out of the what is this book called? The Cutest Crochet Creations book. I wanted to start something out of it, but I just had to stop. I had to stop myself, because otherwise I would have 15 whips and nothing to show you that's finished. So I really worked diligently yesterday and today just to get a few things done, just so I had some things to show you that were finished. Because I don't know. Startitis, I need Whipaholics Anonymous. I need help. Because and I'll watch videos on YouTube, and like I said, I'm really behind on my YouTube videos. I've missed a lot of people's videos that I've got to go back and watch, but I'm really bad about watching people's videos, and I'm like, oh, I want to make that, and then I end up not starting it, or I'll find something else. It's like I get squirrel brain or something, and I really need to quit doing that. So I did have a couple acquisitions. Caroline over at For the Love of Crochet, she showed this Susan Bates weaving needle, and it's a really long needle. You can see that. It's a really, really long needle. Like, that's it beside my hand. So I did purchase that. It was like $5 on Amazon. I haven't used it yet, but this would be really good for blankets, I think, for weaving in the ends on blankets, for weaving in the ends on bigger amigurumi or even smaller amigurumi. So I'm excited to try that out. And I did get these, they're called Corsage Pins. I cannot say that word. I don't have the top of it. I cut the top of it off to save it, and I don't know what I've done with it. They came in a little thing like this. I got them at Walmart, but they are really long stick pins. And I have this little tomato looking thing that I've had for years. And this is your normal sized stick pins with the little ball on the top, different colors. And this is the size difference. So these are like the white ones. The white ones on top, that's the Corsage pins. The balls are a little bit bigger on them, and the stick pin part is a lot longer. That is one of the reasons that I did not pin stuff down, because I would get so aggravated with these little short pins, the little short pins, because they would just pop right out. And with these longer ones, like here's another one, so this is what the top of it looks. It's just pearl white, and then it's got the really long, it's 2 inches like I said. They just stay in, and even if they pop out a little bit, like as you're sewing something in, you can just push them right back down. I did stick myself on my Tooterphants, because I had it, he's a little bit smaller amigurumi, so you kind of gotta be careful about how you position them. Make sure they're positioned where they won't pop out the other side if you're doing something that's with the smaller yarns. No big deal though. But I mean, as you all can see, I've got cuts and bruises all over me. But yeah, so I really love these little corsage pins, and they did not cost that much at Walmart. They were only a couple dollars, but like I said, they're like 2 inches, and they just work really good for pinning your pieces on if you like to do that, or if you need to do that, because like I said, I don't normally do that, but on some projects you just need to do it. And the legs on that Tooterphants, I threw them over there or I'd be showing them again. That Tooterphants, it really helped because where there was 4 legs, you want your legs to be lined up, and that helped me a lot. So that is all that I had for you all. This is another really long video. I had in my mind I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes, but I have noticed since I have started only doing a podcast once a week that I just have a lot to say to you all, and I hope that that's okay. And I hope that you all enjoy my videos, even if they are a little long. But I just enjoy talking to you all, and like I said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will be seeing you all real soon with probably more whips and more projects finished. Fingers crossed that I can get some more stuff done for you all, and that I don't start too many projects in between now and the next video. So I will see you all real soon in the next video. Bye.